If your business is not growing the way you expected, this video is for you. Not because your product is bad, not because your team isn't working, not because you haven't tried hard enough, but because almost every business that plateaus is stuck because of one specific constraint, and most founders are busy solving the wrong one. They see the symptom, they miss the cause. And when you treat a symptom, you get temporary relief at best. When you treat the cause, things actually change. Today, I want to walk you through a way of looking at any business that isn't growing, and by the end, you will be able to identify exactly where the real block is in yours. Here's something I have observed over and over again. A founder comes and says, I need more leads. So they run more ads, spend more money, create more content, and sometimes it moves the needle, but often not much changes. Why? Because I need more leads is a conclusion, not a diagnosis. It's like telling a doctor you're tired and the doctor prescribing coffee. Maybe it helps short term, but maybe the tiredness is a symptom of something deeper, and no amount of coffee fixes that. Business growth works the same way. Before you prescribe a solution, you need to understand which constraint is actually holding the business back. There are 4 of them, and each one requires a completely different response. The first constraint is the most straightforward. The right people simply don't know you exist. You're not losing business because you're bad, you're losing because people don't even know you exist. Your product is solid, your service delivers results, but the market hasn't discovered you yet. You are not showing up where your audience is looking, or not loudly enough to be noticed. Signs you are here. You depend entirely on referrals and word of mouth. New leads are surprised to discover you exist. Your organic reach on social, search, anywhere is minimal. You've never seriously invested in building a presence. The fix is visibility. Content, ads, SEO, collaboration, speaking, partnerships. But here's the catch. Visibility only works when the brand is ready for it. If a new visitor lands on your page and cannot immediately understand what you do or why it matters, then more reach just accelerates rejection. Fix the brand first, then scale the reach. This is where most businesses actually live, and most don't realize it. People know you exist, they've heard of you, they may have followed you or visited your website, but when it comes time to make a decision, they don't choose you. You're not being rejected, you're being overlooked, and that is worse because they considered you and still moved on. They go with someone else, or they don't decide at all. Signs you are here. You regularly lose clients to competitors who charge less. When customers explain why they chose you, they struggle to give a specific reason. Your content looks and sounds like everyone else in your category. You find yourself justifying your price more often than you should. The fix is not more content or more ads. The fix is positioning, being the obvious choice for a specific person, not the acceptable choice for everyone. What does your brand stand for that nobody else does? Why do you serve better than anyone? What story do you tell that makes the right person immediately feel this is exactly for me? A sharply positioned brand will always outperform a brand trying to appeal to everyone. You're getting customers, but they are not staying. They buy once and disappear. They don't refer others. The relationship ends at the first transaction. A business that constantly needs new customers to survive is not growing, it's running just to stay in place. This is expensive because acquiring a new customer always costs more than keeping an existing one. Signs you're here. Repeat purchases or re-engagements are rare. You almost never get unprompted referrals. Customers seem satisfied but not enthusiastic. They don't talk about you. There is no real post-purchase experience or ongoing relationship. The fix is experience and loyalty. What happens after someone buys from you? Is it remarkable enough to be remembered? Is there a reason to return? Is there a community, a relationship, a reason to stay connected beyond the transaction? Brands with strong retention spend far less on acquisition because their existing customers carry a significant part of that load. Let me take a quick 30-second break here from the video to tell you something. If this video is making you think, okay, but how do we actually build a brand that doesn't depend on ads? That's exactly what iSpark Marketect is built for. It's a program where I take you through the full system: positioning, storytelling, content, organic growth, step by step. No fluff, no hacks, just a clear framework that works for real businesses. The link is in the description. Check it out. Now, back to the video. This constraint is unique. It only happens to businesses that were growing. Things were working, clients were coming, revenue was moving, and then somewhere along the way, it stuck. Or worse, you grew, but things got messy. More revenue, but more stress. More clients, but less consistency. What worked at 10 clients doesn't work at 100. This is the cruelest constraint because your reward for working hard was more chaos. Signs you are here? Delivery quality has become inconsistent as you have scaled. You are personally involved in almost every client interaction because the process breaks without you. Different team members communicate the brand differently. You are not sure how to grow further without breaking what already works. The fix is systems, process, documentation, brand standards, clear roles. Chaotic scaling is not a marketing problem. It's a systems and leadership problem wearing a marketing costume. Now here's a mistake most founders make. They look at this first and say, I have all 4 problems. Maybe, but you almost certainly have one root constraint, the one that is causing or amplifying everything else. Before I give you the diagnostic question, let me just say this plainly. You're not losing because you're bad, you're losing because people don't even know you exist. You're not being rejected, you're being overlooked. And that is worse because they considered you and still moved on. A business that constantly needs new customers to survive is not growing, it's running just to stay in place. And the cruelest one, sometimes your reward for working hard is more chaos. One of these will hit differently than the others. That's your constraint. And the way to confirm it is to be brutally honest about where the business actually is right now. Ask yourself, are the right people not finding me? Visibility problem. Are people finding me but not choosing me? Differentiation problem. Are people buying once but not coming back? Retention issue. Was I growing but now stuck or chaotic? The scaling trap. One honest answer to that question is worth more than 6 months of random activity. Fix the right constraint. Everything else starts to move. Most businesses are not failing because they lack effort. They are failing because they are building in the wrong order. Here's the sequence that most founders never get taught, and the absence of it explains why so much effort doesn't compound. Offer, branding, marketing, sales. Offer comes first. Before content, before ads, before anything, your offer needs to be razor sharp. A clear problem, a clear solution, a clear transformation. If your offer is vague, everything built on top will also be vague. Branding comes second. Not your logo or color palette, it's the perception you own in someone's mind before they have ever spoken to you. When the brand is strong, your marketing doesn't have to shout. People already believe you before you have had to convince them. Marketing comes third, and it's really just teaching at scale. When your offer is sharp and your brand is clear, marketing becomes the amplifier. Without those two, it's just noise. Sales comes last. When the first 3 are working, sales becomes a natural conversation. Not a push, not a pitch, just a decision. The right person was already moving forward. The reason most businesses struggle with sales is because they jump straight to it without fixing what comes before. Sales resistance is almost never a sales problem, it's a sequence problem. Before you hire another agency, before you run another campaign, ask yourself, which part of this sequence is actually broken? That one question will save you months. The founders and marketers who consistently outperform don't just know more, they see differently. Here are 3 ways of seeing that separate them from the rest. Brand narrative. Most businesses describe themselves in terms of what they do, but what makes someone trust you, choose you, and stay with you is the story of why you exist. Every strong brand has a narrative, a thread that runs through every piece of content, every campaign, every interaction. Without that thread, everything feels random. With it, everything builds. We have a proprietary framework at Vinci Studio called the Spark Story Engine, built specifically to help founders and brands find and articulate that narrative. Not just a tagline, the actual identity beneath everything. We'll do a full video on Spark separately. Sword and shield. Every brand is fighting on two fronts simultaneously, and most only show up to one of them. The sword wins new customers, the shield keeps them. Most brands and most agencies only build the sword, more ads, more content, more reach, but a brand with no shield leaks. Every customer you win walk out the back door because there is nothing holding them. The founders who build both are the ones whose growth actually compounds. We will go deep on sword and shield in an upcoming video. Number 3, Marketech thinking. A Marketech diagnoses before prescribing. They look at the brand, find the real constraint, and only then decide what to do. You don't need to become a marketer, but you need to think like a marketect about your own brand, because the more clearly you see it, the better you can lead the people executing for you. Everything in these last two sections, the OBMS sequence, brand narrative, the sword and shield, Marketech thinking, this is the core of how we work with founders at Vinci Studio. Most agencies start with solutions. We start by asking what is actually broken. We don't prescribe visibility before we understand which constraint the brand is in. And we don't separate strategy from execution, because a strategy that never gets built is just a document. If this is how you want to think about your brand, we'd love to have a conversation. You will find us at Vinci Studio. I'm going to be doing dedicated videos on each of these: OBMS, Spark Story Engine, Sword and Shield, Marketech thinking, and more. Each video will go deep on one concept and give you something concrete and applicable, whether you are a founder, a marketer, or a freelancer trying to level up. If any of this resonates with how you are thinking about your business or career right now, stay close to this channel. There is a lot more coming. Every business that isn't growing is in one of 4 constraints: low visibility, weak differentiation, poor retention, the scaling trap. The question is never just how do I market more? The question is always which constraint am I actually in, and what does that specific problem actually need? That one honest answer is where everything begins. Growth is not about doing more, it's about fixing what actually matters.